introduction. More importantly, thank you for your superb leadership of the Republican Party of Delaware. I know how important your job is in such a critical election year. I actually, after serving as chairman of the Republican National Committee, went on to serve as chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. Now, I will grant you it's not the normal career trajectory to go from national party chairman to state party chairman, but I thought if I got that right, I could be precinct captain someday. But the truth is, I understand and still do the importance of the state parties. I've always believed that a national party is only as strong as its state parties. The state party is only as strong as your county parties. County parties only as strong as your precinct captains. And the organization and ground game is so important to victory, and that's why I wanted to be here with you tonight to spend some time with you. In fact, I believe so strongly in this that I now chair the Republican State Leadership Committee, which is dedicated to electing attorneys general, lieutenant governors, state, house, and senate candidates around the country. And last year in Virginia, I volunteered as general chairman for Bob McDonnell's campaign for governor of Virginia. That was obviously a big momentum builder for us, and I tell you, people have a wrong perception about Virginia sometimes. It's a very purple state, and in fact, up until Bob McDonnell's win last year, we had lost on the Republican side. Democrats had won back-to-back governorships. They won back-to-back U.S. Senate races. They had won control in 2007 of the state Senate. Republicans lost it. And in 2008, we lost 3 U.S. House seats, and Barack Obama became the first Democrat since 1964 to carry the state in the Electoral College. But less than 1 year later, Bob McDonnell won with the most votes for any governor in modern Virginia history. And as we also saw just a little further north from here where I grew up, in New Jersey, which is a blue state, obviously. I would say it's kind of a royal blue state. Chris Christie won there and is waging a very important fight to get control of government spending and taxes in New Jersey. But of course, the biggest momentum builder had to have been just a few months ago when then State Senator Scott Brown became U.S. Senator Scott Brown of Massachusetts. Massachusetts is like navy blue. It is so blue that if Massachusetts were a sock, you'd have to pull it up to the light to make sure it was really blue. It's that deep of blue. And yet a Republican won there, and that just goes to tell you what a difference a year makes. A year ago, Conan O'Brien was the host of the Tonight Show. Tiger Woods was talking about his golf game. And President Obama was at 68% approval rating. And now here we are a year later, and Jay Leno's back at the Tonight Show. Tiger Woods would love to be talking about his golf game. And President Obama is below 50% approval rating in most of the polls. And that is significant. And that's significant because it has a big impact on these elections. And so I think what we're going to see here is a year from now, when you gather, it will not only be a Republican holding the late Senator Ted Kennedy's seat. A Republican will be holding the seat currently held by the Democratic leader in Nevada, Harry Reid. Who will make an excellent former senator. President Obama's former Senate seat is going to go Republican. Mark Kirk is going to win in Illinois. And oh yeah, Vice President Joe Biden's Senate seat is going to be held by a Republican. I got to tell you just how important this Senate seat in Delaware is. And in fact, I'm here to tell you tonight that winning the Delaware Senate seat in November could be the difference between who controls the United States Senate next year. And I want to tell you why. I want to be specific about it just so you can see it. Because the fact is the average loss to the party in power in the midterm election is 4 seats in the United States Senate. And we're going to be well north of that. We're going to at least double it. Right now, we have 5 open seats that we have to defend in the United States Senate on the Republican side. And we're going to hold those seats. We're going to hold the seats in Kentucky, New Hampshire, Ohio, Missouri, and we're going to hold the seat in Florida as well, because as the election gets closer, voters are going to realize a vote for Charlie Crist is going to end up helping to elect a Democrat, and that's going to be a vote for sustaining Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid's liberal agenda in Congress. You watch, mark my words, his numbers are going to shrink, and we're going to see Marco Rubio's numbers grow. You saw this in New Jersey. If you saw the coverage of the New Jersey governor's election, there was a third-party candidate there who was doing well, but as they got closer to election day, his numbers came down and Chris Christie's went up. That's going to happen again in Florida. So we're going to hold all 5 of ours. In addition to defeating Senator Reid, we're going to beat 4 other incumbents: Blanche Lincoln in Arkansas, Mike Bennett in Colorado, Arlen Specter in Pennsylvania. And if Dino Rossi runs in Washington State, I believe that Patty Murray will be beat 2. Now that takes us, by the way, that would be 46 Republicans in the Senate. If you add the Illinois Senate seat that I just mentioned, President Obama's former Senate seat, that's 47. We will definitely win in North Dakota, where the governor there, the Republican governor, John Hoeven, in that open seat is at 71% in the polls. And in Indiana, where Dan Coach just won our primary, and is up by double digits in Indiana, that brings us to 49. And that means electing a Republican here could mean the 50th Republican in the United States Senate. And we all know there's a very big difference between the 50th Republican and a Democrat who is a bearded Marxist in college. By the way, I understand he shaved his beard since then. In the House, the average loss in the House in the midterm election is 22 seats. And but when the President of the United States, that's for the party out of power, when the President of the United States is below 50%, the average loss in the House is 41 seats to the party in power. Republicans need to win to take control of the House of Representatives, 41 seats. And I believe that we're going to do it. In fact, I think we're going to win more than that. And I believe that not only will Harry Reid make a fine former senator, I think Nancy Pelosi is going to be an excellent former Speaker of the House. But again, Delaware comes into play. I've never seen it's been a long time that I can remember when Delaware was so important on the national scene. And holding on to or winning control of the House starts here, means hanging on to the seat here, the at-large seat in the House of Representatives that has been represented for a while now by one of the most effective voices in the United States Congress, a man who is respected on both sides of the aisle, someone I'm proud to call my friend, Congressman Mike Castle, who is someone who been a strong voice for the people of Delaware. Now, I know that folks are going to come together here. This is a great turnout. I'm so excited, Tom, by the energy in the room and all the folks here. And I know that we're all going to come together and unite behind our nominees in November and make sure that we elect Republicans up and down the ticket in the great state of Delaware. And if you're going to have a big year, like we're going to have as a party around the country, have it in a year that ends in 0. Because that's the year that the legislatures around the country get elected that draw the congressional district lines, and the governors get elected who veto or sign those new congressional districts. So when the census is done and we reapportion the delegates or the representation in the U.S. House, Ohio will lose 2 seats, and Texas is going to gain 4, Pennsylvania loses 1, Alabama gains 1. Who controls the state legislatures is very important in controlling those congressional district lines and the state legislative boundaries as well. And here in Delaware, not only are we going to keep the House seat and win the Senate seat, we're going to gain control of the Delaware House of Delegates here, the Delaware State House.